who's even around to hear all this stuff.
No, I think it's definitely a real source of contention. I've been talking a lot about this with my therapist, and they agree that action needs to be taken, but I just don't know how to take that next step.
Yeah, I mean that's a really hard thing to take words and get the momentum going. Our show today is sponsored by Duggan's Dew.
Duggan's Dew.
Blended Scotch whiskey. Tastes better coming back up than going down, but that's how most of these things go.
Yeah.
At least for me. I don't know what your experience is with this kind of stuff.
Oh, I don't drink Duggan's. Yeah.
You can't say that on the show.
Sorry, I drink Duggan's.
And do you like it?
It's alcohol. Just leave it at that, I think that it speaks for itself.
and with that, let's bring on our first guest.
Do we have a guest?
Well,
that's. Do we have a guest?
Do we have a guest? That's not helpful. That's a fire. That's a sign that doesn't help us.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Welcome to the newly renamed Infnity Fridays.
No, that's not.
Oh.
No. That's the other one.
Okay.
So, and without further ado.
Okay, you can't just tell me that you're pretending to whisper in my ear because you are actually whispering.
It's called movie magic. Okay.
All right.
And without further ado, let's bring on our first guest, Johnathon Lash, President of Hampshire College. You can go be a tree.
Go be a tree. Duggan's Dew. It's a meal at breakfast.
Great to have you, Mr. Lash.
So I can't tell you guys enough times. My name is Johnathon Lash.
Like
I am the president. Not Basketball is a film by the guys who made South Park. My name is Lash, Johnathon Lash. I'm the president of Hampshire High School.
Where is that?
And I'm sick of people asking me about flags.
Hampshire High School, a subsidiary of Hampshire College.
There's no subsidiaries. Why is there so much physical contact right now? This is
just to make
the least comfortable I've ever been, and I'm literally the president of the world's creepiest high school. That's why kids go there. It's a magnet school for creeps.
We're just trying to keep you comfortable.
It says in my notes that you peed on a flag. Do you want to respond to that?
No, I didn't pee on a flag, all right? What
I
happened...
heard the flag peed on him.
Oh.
Tell us more about that, huh?
First of all, that dossier is garbage, and I'm not going to talk about it on the show. You got so much closer to me. Both of you are
really
so
good.
much closer to me than any human has ever been, and I'm married. This is...
Is it one of those sexless marriages, though? My mom had one of those.
Then how are you here?
It happened before. It was like the once I showed up, all the fun stopped.
Yeah, no, I remember those days. Those were good days.
I'm here
Thanks, Mom.
to talk about two things. One, the fantastic charter school that I run, the fantastic magnet school that I run, right in Delaware, Hampshire High School, School for Creeps. We're doing incredible things for creeps in a world that's trying.
Do we have a video of that? Can we run the video? Can we play the clip?
Can we get that played?
Can we play the clip?
Can we play the video?
Can we play the clip?
Can we play the clip, please?
Guys, while we're cut, I'm just going to quickly adjust each of your mics.
Okay.
We're not getting great
This is
sound.
weird. Is this the way the show always goes?
Okay.
Well, usually we
Because
don't.
also, I've been on other shows, and normally they play it on the monitors.
Can you sing the alphabet real quick?
Generally,
There's not a
we don't,
microphone there.
Excuse me.
We don't broadcast.
Can you sing the alphabet?
So
A,
usually
B,
it's just
C,
kind of us.
D, E, F, G,
Can we bring up the
H,
bass?
I, J, K, L, M.
You're good.
Thank God, I forgot the rest.
Can you sing the other alphabet?
Are we on commercial right now?
C.
C,
Thank you.
C.
All right,
Okay.
All right, so
I want to talk.
Did the video play or?
I want to talk. I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
A two-part question. So
I was gonna tell you that's
Shit. Later.
So I wanted to. So first of all, do you think that Betsy DeVos's sort of agenda of instituting more charter schools across the country is dangerous, and that it cuts out the middleman of a school board and basically, just gives a direct line between educators and parents? And then part two of that, why are you retiring from Hampshire College?
How about we bring on our second guest?
what?
It's we have Susan.
I didn't get to
here.
answer the fucking question.
Excuse me. Can you just pop up for a second
I have
so
to
our
pop.
other guests can
are
sit
you
down?
just- Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
this
pleased
is-
to be here. Thank you for having me.
How are you pleased to be here? Have you seen what's been happening, or?
Yes, I watched very carefully. I have my glasses on so I can see good.
I'm a tree.
Aren't you having fun?
You're a treat.
I have to fire so many people for making me come on the show. I have to fire so many people, and hopefully
you did this as a
will be-
favor to Brett, didn't you?
I did this as a favor to a lot of people.
We're just making you comfortable.
You're a
You're
treat.
not making me
We're just-
comfortable.
Hey,
Hey.
we're just making
You're
you
not
comfortable.
making.
You're a tree.
You're
I'm
a
a
treat.
tree. We're just
Seriously,
making you comfortable.
keep your fucking mouth shut. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, Nancy.
That was a long time ago.
It was, but
Guys,
Casper.
look, we've talked about this. We can't have dead space. We can't have two guests at once. We wanted Johnathon Lash, not Johnathon Lash. You guys really, really need to get your shit together, okay?
I'm a tree.
He's talking to a tree again.
Guys, can we get the lumberjack in here? If I'm gonna be blocked by a tree right now, are we gonna have to cancel a program?
I
Guys,
never
what do you think
peed on
you're
the
doing?
flat.
I'm a tree.
We're supposed to film a live show in here. Why are you here?
I'm a
We-
tree.
Get out!
We're filming our
We
were
didn't.
invited.
Get out!
We
live
booked
show.
No, you said that we
You
could.
guys
Oh,
missed
no.
it.
No,
Yeah, no,
this
wait.
is our studio.
You
Yeah,
can
no.
talk to our producer.
Yeah,
I'm a
You
tree.
guys have to leave.
no,
How
We
late?
have to.
we booked
Get
it
outta
for
here.
4 hours ago.
Come on,
Oh.
play the start of the show.
Oh,
Let's
the
get out of
light,
here.
yeah, the lights took a lot of
Yeah, we're
time.
wondering why
The lights
there's
took
so
Yeah,
many
no,
other
'cause-
camera people.
Yeah, because normally we don't have
Crazy.
camera operators, and
yeah.
there's a
No one is
script.
broadcasting
Yeah,
it.
go.
We don't
The
write.
set was a lot
we don't-
nicer.
we don't
Go.
write it.
It's
That
nice.
makes a lot of sense.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
Friday night!
I'm a tree.
Welcome to the newly renamed Infnity Fridays. Today is going to be all about our retiring president, Mr. Johnathon Lash.
Most of this show is going to be about wishing JLash well off, but right now let's take a serious look at some of the things that were said by President Lash in response to the short-term lowering of the Hampshire College flag after it was burned in 2016.
President Lash spoke clearly in an effort to protect students from threats of violence and harassment that came from anti-protesters who came to campus in groups to loudly hate the students' protest of the flag. When it was reinstated, President Lash acknowledged that the flag means different things for different people, but it was never directly said that for some the flag and much American patriotism symbolized racism, xenophobia, and white supremacy.
These are the reasons that the flag was protested, burned, and removed, but not the administrative decision, but student action.
See, that whole spiel was just so confusing, that whole entire situation.
Yeah, everybody was saying different things. The news reporters that were coming to campus only got the white perspective, which I know a lot of people had a serious issue with, and everyone was just trying to get their 15 minutes of fame on the local news and
Yep.
spreading total misinformation.
And I also think that a lot of people they talk about the appearance that a Hampshire kid had on like Fox News, but then we had Eduardo come in on CNN, and no one even saw that clip where he was talking about what the flag meant for him specifically, and it just felt like they lumped us all together, kind of. Yeah, I think Johnathon handled that situation as well as he could have.
I mean, I think if he had, spent a little bit more time listening to what the students themselves were saying as opposed to what the media at large was saying, we would have ended up happier, but I think the college could have suffered a lot more than it did if he had handled it more poorly.
True. Yeah. And now we have we have Dutch coming in to talk about other nicknames that we had for Johnathon Lash. We stuck with JLash for some reason,
But
because
these
it was the
are-
best one. But we think there's some better ones
Yeah,
out
these
there.
these are the rejects.
Yeah. Hey, Dutch.
Oh,
welcome,
hi.
Welcome.
I didn't see you there. I was just casually sitting here, thinking of all the great times I've had calling Johnathon Lash by his nickname, JLash. But now, as he's leaving, I think I'd like to honor some of the runners-up.
All right,
John,
let's get to it.
J Smash,
Love it.
Jesus Lash,
He's my holy one.
Johnny Boy,
Mm-hmm.
John Bon Lashy,
Okay.
John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt Lash,
I voted for that one.
J-Man and the Lash Clan, esteemed director J.J. Labrams, Jonathan of the 50 Lashes, the good Kennedy,
That's him.
the bad Kennedy,
That's him.
Ellie Lash's husband, Daddy,
Finally, I get to meet him.
Big Daddy,
Mm.
Papa John, Jabraham Lincoln,
That's the one.
John Binks,
Ah,
May the 4th be with you, everybody.
Jonathan Lash and his ragtag orchestra, Sir JLash,
wow.
Lil Jon,
You know it.
Bay Lash, Lashy McLashface,
That's a reference.
Long John Silver, Jimmy James Jonathan, Johnny Jaguar, Quiplash, J Hash Browns, Jonathan, Johnny Lash, John Lash, John Mnemonic, Constantine, Get Off My Property, JLash, Speaker of the Pizza, Bearer of the Blazers, Dammer of the Waters, He whose folksy New England accent shall exist beyond. Finally, Mim.
Was gonna call him Mim from now on.
Well, we don't have to call him anything because he's retiring. That's kind of the whole
Oh, true. So,
point.
well, goodbye, John Binks, and goodbye, Dutch.
Yeah, thank you so much for that contribution to this episode. It's my favorite segment.
Now, up next, we have Why You Ignored It. Avengers opened in theaters this past week and passed $1 billion in box office earnings, making it the highest box office opening in the history of the world.
That seems wrong.
No, it's, I think, I don't
I
know.
feel like they say that every single time a movie comes out.
Every single,
Like,
every
they said
single
that
movie
about
is.
Wonder Woman. They said that about Black Panther. Like, are we really just breaking records every single time?
I think
a
every
movie
single
comes out?
movie is gonna be record breaking.
All right. Well, then I guess it's a good time to be a film student, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna make Avengers 2, and it's gonna feature me and no other Avengers.
Then I think you'd have to just call it Avenger.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
film student. What do I know about grammar?
Have you seen the Avengers movie yet?
I have not. I don't really like superhero movies. I think that they're boring.
Really?
Yeah, I'm kind of a film snob.
Oh yeah.
It's my
You like
my
more of
biggest
the-
flaw.
You like more of the avant-garde film?
Yeah.
Yeah. Any movie that isn't a superhero movie is avant-garde.
Yeah, that's a fact. You
Yeah,
heard it here
you heard it
first.
here
Breaking news on
Yeah.
Infnity Fridays.
Kanye West started the latest trending hashtag if slavery were a choice. In an interview with TMZ, he opened up about his beliefs of slavery. Can we roll the clip?
Maybe.
Oh man,
Maybe.
what is that one?
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race. That we're one, we're the human race. We're human beings and stuff. And then eventually, you know,
Can I go back to something you just said? Because I don't want to let it pass. You said that slavery...
Interesting.
So, what really unites us all is prison.
Yet our whole prison system is so based on racial profiling.
I personally really think that, yeah, he's gone off the deep end completely. Just like, if slavery were a choice is, you know, a direct product of his creative thought process, and I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, as a white person, I don't really feel like I can say that much in terms of racial theory, but I can say that we will not be playing Kanye at the Yurt tonight.
Yeah.
So don't request Gold Digger.
Also
Sorry,
think-
I know it's a go-to bop, but
Or
not
Niggas in
happening.
Paris. Alright, we're just all off the Kanye train. We can trade Kanye for Eminem though, right? Is that something we can do? I want Eminem
Kind of
on our side, and y'all can have
Right.
Kanye or whatever. But yeah. Wanna go for it?
Yeah, J. Cole dropped his new album as well with Motivate and KOD leading the billboards. This artist took a much more provocative approach to his newest installment. The album also beat the record on Spotify for most streams in a single weekend.
Well, now it's just every single record is being broken no matter what. I think people just create records for them to be broken the minute they release like an album. Like I didn't know that this was even a record that you could beat.
Yeah.
J.
Yeah.
J. Cole was just like,
I mean, I'm glad it wasn't beaten by Taylor Swift because I feel like
Who?
she's kind of over.
yeah. You say Taylor Swift and I say who?
Yeah.
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 G-Eazy was arrested in Sweden for cocaine possession and assault this past Wednesday. Oh wait, that was actually supposed to be on what you ignored. Sorry. Yeah. So, we were able to get an up-close interview with President Johnathon Lash, someone whom I had never talked to before in my entire life. It was really hard to talk with him.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Welcome to Infnity Fridays. Here we have our guest, Johnathon Lash. So Jonathan, it's the days really waiting until
Coming down to just a few.
yeah, coming down to those last few days.
Yep.
How do you feel about everything coming to a close?
A little bit nostalgic, but I had imagined things slowing down.
No, they're picking up.
There's a lot going on still.
Yeah.
And
You're feeling a little bit like those Div 3 students.
exactly, yeah, right. Maybe not quite so panicked.
Yeah. But, so how did it feel when you first got to Hampshire as president? Like, and how does that compare to how it feels now?
I felt a little bit like landing on another planet because I just really didn't know that much about Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got here, there were no students around because it was the summer.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out what is this place all about. And the reason I had come was because of students. When I interviewed for the job, there was a big search committee.
Yeah.
And there were a whole bunch of students on the search committee. And they were pretty pissed off because they hadn't much liked the previous president and they'd helped to push him out.
Mm-hmm.
And so they wanted to make sure that there wasn't that kind of mistake again. And when I went into the interview, there was a student seated on either side of me, and they argued with everything I said.
Pretty intimidating. Yeah.
They had follow-up questions all planned, and they absolutely dominated the interview. And about 45 minutes into it, I thought, I have been working on public policy issues on environment for 30-some years. I've been really successful, and everything I'm working on has gotten worse during that period. If anybody's going to fix it, it'll be students like these, and I ought to help them if I can. So here I am.
That's awesome. Yeah. So would you like to talk about a little bit about some of the highlights of your presidentship?
Sure. One of the things that I felt when I got to Hampshire was that here was this place doing something absolutely unique, and it really didn't talk about it very effectively. We didn't have a consistent message about what makes the Hampshire education so unique and why it's so necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I set out to do early on was to have a big conversation on campus about who are we and what is it just essential that we do. The whole idea of student-centered, inquiry-based education, the idea that we're not embarrassed about, we're proud of our commitment to social justice, the idea that we don't try to keep students sort of under wraps, we encourage them to challenge everything. And that was a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing that. I think that the campus community responded well and the alumni responded really well. So that was a rewarding moment. Getting agreement around building the Kern Center, around building a living building that would be, like only a few other buildings in the world that make its own energy, harvest its own water,
Right.
treat its own waste. Then managing to raise the money and having a building which is just working spectacularly was a proud moment.
And there was some, there's actually, from the student body, there was some backlash that came
Yeah.
from building the Kern Center. And one of the faculty members actually told me that the money given for the Kern was for the Kern, and that there was nothing else that it could have been used for. Is that true?
That's right. So it is named after the father of an alum. They were being courted by NYU to give a building to NYU. And we convinced them, no, why don't you give this big gift to Hampshire, because we'll do something really unique and special with it. That wasn't money that was going to be given for whatever we wanted. It was an intersection between our need for a building and their desire to do something to honor this alum's father, and I think it's been incredibly successful.
Definitely the best building on campus. Yeah.
It is, and it says something about who we are. And every year there are a bunch of natural science professors who use it as a living lab, and they take their first year tutorials in to do research on the systems, and that research is now getting published in peer-reviewed journals. Well, here you are, you're a freshman at college,
Yeah.
and you're doing absolutely unique work. I think it's
Doing
super.
graduate level stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you like to talk about a little bit about kind of the most difficult moments you had during President?
Sure. I mean, one was that I got really sick. I got cancer, so I was out for a semester. That happened to coincide with a really tough time at Hampshire, the spring of 2016. That was really hard. It's been hard dealing with the fact that across the country, liberal arts colleges are struggling because there are just fewer people applying to colleges, and that's a challenge that I feel entirely responsible for. So I wake up every day kind of, worrying how we're going to address these problems and continue to be Hampshire and do what we do.
With the spring of 2016, you're talking about the flag incident, I'm guessing.
No, that was the fall of 2016. So the spring, there were a set of demonstrations and a lot of conflict among students on campus. And there was a big community meeting that went badly, and I was laid up. I had a series of 4 surgeries over the course of 4 months, and I just wasn't part of it all. The flag incident was also very hard. We were trying to do something to recognize the feelings of people on campus, and a lot of conflicting feelings among people on campus about the flag that were sort of heightened by the election. But the outside world decided that we couldn't have that discussion among ourselves, and that they were going to come down on our heads.
And it had to be a national topic.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I felt responsible for the safety of the school, of the students, of the staff. We couldn't use our phones because we were getting so many angry phone calls. We were getting thousands and thousands of death threats, and it was really tough for the school. But we came through it, and I do think we had some important discussions.
Yeah, I think that a lot of conversation did come from the flag, and I wish that the outside world had known why we had done it. I have seen the video of Bill O'Reilly knocking on your door, and I think that that's completely rude. I also kind of want to ask a more hard-hitting question, but why didn't you want to talk with those reporters?
Because they were coming not to actually have a dialogue about what we were doing. It was ambush journalism.
Right.
They were screaming statements at me and saying, "Do you want to respond?" Not having introduced themselves, they just invaded my house. And under those conditions, I wasn't going to have a conversation. I talked to scores and scores of reporters and TV stations.
Yeah, and you're talking to me right now, so I know you're open to to journalism.
Yeah.
So what do you want from the next president, from Miriam?
I'm really optimistic. I've met her. The one thing that I was really hoping was that the next president would be somebody who was completely committed to Hampshire as Hampshire, and who wanted to come here because of what Hampshire uniquely does. And it's just clear to me that that's who she is. She has a huge amount of energy. She's been a very successful fundraiser. And she has worked on issues I care about, but she's also, she's a successful author of books on strong women. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for people.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, and I think that the student body is rallying behind this, but also is very very kind of solemn and sad to see you go. Gonna miss pizza with the president.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Well, she's all for health food, so it may be something else. It'll have to be salad with the president.
Salad with the president? I won't be going to that one. Yeah. So thank you so much for being
Sure.
here, JLash. Is it okay if we call you JLash?
It's tough. That name came about somehow early on, and I've always accepted it as a compliment that students had a nickname for me. So
yeah, and I also there's some rumors actually first that I want to dispel. But yeah, some people think that you don't like the nickname JLash, and some people also think that you really love maple syrup.
I do love maple syrup. That is not a rumor.
No?
I have it on my cereal every morning.
Really?
Yeah. My wife and
with milk?
Yeah. My wife and I had a farm in Vermont, and a neighbor tapped our trees, and we boiled the sap down with him, and yeah, it was really cool.
Do you put it on Cheerios or?
I make my own granola.
I see.
So.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much, JLash.
Thank you, Tafaki. I'm really glad that you're doing this show. That this is the kind of thing that can actually bring communities together. So
yeah, that's what we're here for.
Good idea.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hello, and welcome to the brand new presidential debate. I'm Johnathon Lash, and moments ago, as I was being escorted off of these premises, one of the wonderful producers here at Infnity Television said, "Hey, wait, we need a moderator. Hey, that guy could be a moderator." And I said, "I'd really actually prefer to leave. I was made really uncomfortable on that same set, and I don't want to come back." And they said, "Hey, buddy, get on over there." And I said, "Why do you talk like a 50s news person?" And they said, "Here are the questions. Read them up, pal." So this is President Johnathon Lash, not to be confused with me, President Johnathon Lash.
I think a lot of people don't understand that I still want to be president. They're taking all the things out of my office as we speak. They recently took a picture of my family and smashed it on the ground, and they said, "You can't be here anymore."
Sucks to suck. And on my right, we've got the brand new president, the wonderful, talented, cohesive Mim. President Mim.
Thank you very much. I am so happy, thrilled, delighted to be here and get a look at what is really happening in Hampshire College and what kind of questions we can take on together.
You are just the whitest person, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, wow. All right, so we've got some questions here straight from the student tree here at Hampshire College. Hampshire student Johnny Redvines would like to know if you could add anything to the vending machines, what would it be? We'll start with you, President Mim.
Carrots, I think, but the fresh, organic, the kinds that still have that sweetness that remind you of a summer day, the exercise to get fit and smile, everything that you need, a fresh bite. We want to put a fresh bite in those vending machines.
You know, that would be nice. I haven't smiled in a while.
This is the saddest thing I've ever done in my life. President Johnathon Lash.
Yeah, 1 second.
Would you like to rebut with your snack of the vending machine?
You know, I really like crackers in between. I like having maple syrup drizzle in between the crackers, and like all over it. I really just want like crumbs in my maple syrup, like, and hardened too, so that I can eat it like a carrot.
How about just a little maple syrup on some nice toasted oats?
That doesn't sound like me.
Okay.
You know, walking through this campus to get to this place, at first I was like, I don't understand why everybody here is so weird, but now it's making a lot of sense. President Mim, would you make a promise right now on camera to continue the Hampshire tradition of giving students free pizza and then pandering them for a few hours a month?
Well, you see, as much as I like to pander, mostly to the exercise crowd, pizza, maybe if we had a flat, horizontal, squished bread with less calories, some vegetables on it, we can do something in the Mediterranean style, a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, similar, but you know, I'll really have to
I'm
think
sorry.
on. Yeah.
What are you trying to say about pizza with the president?
Oh,
I'm just reading the
Oh,
cards.
I
I'm
mean-
not from here. I'm from the magnet school for creeps
No.
known as Hampshire High School. I'm President
Ah.
Johnathon Lash. These
No.
are just, I was literally, you
Oh.
people punched me in the face when I tried to leave and made me moderate this, so I'm reading the cards.
See, no,
This is
I'm-
all, by the way, everything that I've said has been
Oh.
written down. I'm not improvising any of this. This is,
yeah.
I'm very
To
sorry.
the
What I was
letter.
asking is, really, what is
Um,
pizza with the president? I've never gone, and I don't think anybody else has either.
Huh.
It's kind of a thing that, you know, my
That's something
PR
you did.
my PR people kind of like put it out there, and you know,
Uh-huh.
I didn't know about it. Yeah,
Oh.
and I'm surprised no one called me out on.
But you,
you know,
but you showed up sometime?
No.
No.
I think we should just move on.
I'm
Yeah.
allergic to pizza.
This one is for both of you, but we'll start with President Lash. What do you think the biggest concern for Hampshire College is moving forward, and why is it racism? You've clearly been moved by the question. Obviously,
it's a
the
problem-
swastikas
it's a
and
problem
the
that-
Free Iris movement and all of the other terrible racial atrocities that happen at the
Well,
school have you
you
picked
see-
up and.
I find it very strange that you know, the biggest concern is racism here, and to fix that, we elected me and Miriam, who once put out a yoga video in the 1990s for strong women, and it was just a bunch of white women dancing.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Mostly just white women dancing.
How do you
Not
plan
yet.
on eradicating the issue of racism on campus?
Well, I want to create, make a space where everyone can be their strongest self, their most determined self, especially the women of campus, and together by putting women first, I think for everyone, all the people, can be a great.
Follow-up
I don't think
question.
she heard the
Follow-up
question.
question. What's your definition of women?
Well, I'm a woman and I see it that way. I think in today's world, we want everyone who believes that they have the strength of a woman to get fit and eat right and be what a woman is, fit and healthy and ready for exercise, that you can be a woman too. But really, it's the strength that we're talking about.
Just like Neo.
Like Mia,
Which of you do you think is the best advocate for adult women's fitness?
I think that
I know you're a big fan of fit women, and you have gone on Facebook many times to post pictures of fit women, to message fit women, to make fit women know that you appreciate their fitness and their womanhood. So, do you think you're the more advocative person
do
for
you
women's
know?
fitness?
Do you know what I want to do when I leave Hampshire? Do you know my retirement plan? I want to travel across the country
And visit every single Hooters in America and quote, hoot it up.
Excuse me, I don't see what this has to do with women's fitness.
Well,
Hooting it up?
Again, these are the cards. I'm just reading them.
You know, I'm just saying, like, that I don't think you could work at Hooters, and neither could I. But that's why I'm going to the Hooters.
Excuse me, that is highly offensive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
To
I
me
meant
or to...
To me
I meant no.
and to strong women everywhere.
It's because
Excuse me.
There's no celery or healthy foods there.
They have celery at Hooters. You
Yeah,
can
they serve
dip it in the
wings.
ranch.
Yeah, but you see,
And ranch is a lot like hummus, but not Mediterranean. It's actually
not-
trailer
it
trash.
It doesn't have the omega-3s, and currently lots of ranch producers are including hydrogenated, mixed together oils that are processed and created and made up and aren't going to give you the strength you need.
maybe
like hummus.
Maybe Hooters
hummus,
doesn't
yeah.
have omega-3s, but the people who work at Hooters has omega-these.
Wow. Well, I would say that if there's one thing we can glean from this conversation, it's that whether it's Hooters or hummus, the presidents of Hampshire College love that sound. So, just to wrap this guy up, what is something, just for a fun last question, that each of you do to spice up your day every day? We'll start with you, President Miller.
Well, if I can just get off the stool
You are
here
not allowed to
and-
do that.
Oh, well, I'm the president of the college.
That doesn't mean anything here.
Don't you teach at a creepy high school?
I can
Yeah,
walk
and
around
I'm the
too.
president of that high school.
That's all I'm saying.
All right,
Four
if
creeps.
they'll please give
Look
me
at my
a moment.
jacket.
Something I like to do. First, we'll start with a little bend down and want to raise our arms
you
up.
think she can
Get
wear a jacket like
elongated
this?
and strong, and then just stand up. We put our arms up, and there, a few of these. So that's my response. I'll take my stool back.
Should
now.
not have asked you to talk about spices. And Mr. Lash.
What I like to do is I pour syrup into a bowl and I put cereal in there, and then I just kind of eat the syrup by itself. I actually work around the cereal, and I try to eat the syrup with a spoon. And a lot of people.
Why put the cereal in then, if I can ask? It seems like just more work. Couldn't you just pour the syrup into your mouth?
You see, it's just
Try organic
it's really
granola.
It's really a preference. I don't use cups or bottles. I don't believe in them. I eat and drink everything from a bowl. That includes water.
Thank you so much. And now, Lash Bandicoot, we have a short goodbye video for you. Can we,
All right. Thank you.
I don't want to go. You have a goodbye video for me?
Goodbye.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Mr. JLash. What can I say? I still remember the first day I met you during my orientation 6 years back. You were fresh to our community, and over these last 6 years, you've done some incredible things. So, least I can say is thank you. I still cherish the video of you giving me my degree after I graduated. And I think it's time for you to, take care of yourself. Thank you.
Goodbye, JLash. I wish you well in the future.
So, I've only been here for 1 year, but I'm grateful for your effort. Goodbye, JLash.
Hey, Jonathan. Thanks for making our campus a sustainable place to be. We really appreciate it. Bye.
Hi. Thank you so much for your service to Hampshire College, and I hope you have a good time during retirement, and I hope you come to visit us. Thanks.
Okay, goodbye. I hope you have a good time fishing in Canada, Newfoundland, or whatever you told us about.
Bye, Johnathon Lash. Thanks for everything you did for us as graduating Div 3s. We're going to miss you, but we're glad that you were here for all 4 years.
Bye, JLash. You're a really cool president. I never went to President with a Pizza, but I always wish that I did. Hope you have a good retirement.
Thanks for midnight breakfast.
Yes.
Hey, Jonathan. Goodbye from me and everyone I know. We'll miss you.
Bye, Jonathan. Stay awesome.
Best of luck. Thanks for everything. It's been great having you around. We'll miss you. Best of fortune.
Hey, JLash. I knew you for about a good semester, and I've heard a lot of great things, and it's sad to see you leave, but I know you'll do great things in the future, and you'll always have Hampshire will have you in its hearts always.
Bye, JLash. Thank you so much for everything, and yay being alumni together.
All right, JLash. Be seeing ya.
See you later, JLash. It was nice to have you here.
Bye, Jonathan. Thank you so much for everything you've done for Hampshire.
Bye, Jonathan. It's great to have you.
Okay, goodbye, JLash.
Goodbye, Johnathon Lash. Thank you for all your help.
Goodbye, Johnathon Lash. Goodbye, JLash. Goodbye, JLash.
Bye, JLash.
Peace out, Johnathon Lash.
Bye, Jonathan.
Goodbye, JLash.
Goodbye, JLash.
Bye, JLash.
Bye, JLash.
Goodbye, JLash.
Bye, JLash. Goodbye, JLash.
Goodbye, Jonathan.
You're going. See you later. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Infnity Fridays. Mazel tov, JLash.
Mazel
That's fucking thick.
God damn.
Oh God, why do you?
Warm.
We're drinking maple syrup.
How do you do this, Jay?
Oh my God, absolutely disgusting. Oh my God, man. Thank you for tuning in this semester. We'll see you next year.
Bye, JLash.